We are live, and tonight We're gonna talk about your favorite stocks and crypto. It's going to be a calling show, and hope to talk to you guys today. If not, we'll talk about cryptos. Let's get into it.
Hey, yeah, it's all about wealth engineering. Might be something that you're not used to. It's okay, cause I'm here to introduce you to concepts. Time to grow and make big moves. All about crypto, come see. Stocks and business, yes indeed. Got the info that you need. Hosted by my homie JC. Hey, yeah, wealth engineering. Stacking and stacking it up. It's time to generate wealth. Till you living like Scrooge McDuck. Hey, wealth engineering. It's time to show you the game. Till you living like Richie Rich. Till you ballin' like Bruce Wayne. Hey, you ain't gotta be an expert, no problem. It don't really matter where you at, just start it. It'll take time, hard work, and
What's up, guys? This is JC, and welcome to the Wealth Engineering channel. This is where I create content so that you can learn how to make, keep, and multiply money for the purpose of, building generational wealth, retire early, and all that, getting some freedoms, but more importantly, saying F you to your jobs, getting some F you money. But before you get there, you have to start with the training wheel, start to slow, by making research, technical analysis, fundamental analysis. So we're going to do a little bit of that. And I was thinking about doing that on my own with some projects that I'm looking into. But I'm like, why not just do it with you, going live for a show? And that was the idea for the show today. So I'm still going to wait for more of you to join in, but I'm going to put the link in the chat below, and you'll be able to and pin that message as well, so you can join in and talk about anything stocks, cryptos that you're considering, that you're thinking about. If you want to buy gold, or we can look at the charts as well. But yeah, mostly stocks and cryptos, or maybe ETFs. Anything you want to talk about, you guys can call in. If you don't want to call in, you can super chat your questions. You can or just type your questions, and if I get to them, we'll review some stocks and cryptos. But the idea is to go over kind of like sometimes I invest. What I do is I look at it very quickly. So I there are certain things I look into for in a company. I look at the fundamental information, see if I can have some very quickly, just to know if I should add this on my watch list, or if I should put maybe $100, $200 in. And then later I'll do a more elaborate research. And that research is mostly studying more about the future of the company. If it's a company and I can listen to a call, I'll definitely do that. Like as a stockholder, sometimes you can just buy one stock, and then that gives you access to listen to the earnings report. So that's a great way to get some inside information about what's going on, the state of the company, the vision of the CEO, and all that. Or if it's a cryptocurrencies, another way you could do that is by joining the community, see the latest post, Twitter post, and do more research on that. Right. So it's more like a tedious work, but sometimes if you're patient enough, you can actually be giving you a hedge, allowing you to see things before the masses and make more confident bets when it comes to investing in crypto. How are you doing, Sunbreeze? Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're enjoying the show tonight. And yes, so I put the link, guys. If you guys want to call in, go ahead. But as you guys see, I changed the light. So I don't know if you can see it. It's a green light today. So it's going to be all about the bullishness. We're going to look for opportunities together that are potentially going to be bullish for us. All right. It's going to increase our portfolios and whatnot. And you never know if maybe you are someone who likes to bet on the downside. And then if you do that with options, you can actually earn money. But some people do shorts, but I don't necessarily recommend that, especially for most of you out there that are beginners that are not doing it for very long. Short is definitely not an option because the risk is unlimited, and if you're doing it with options, there is a limited amount of risk, but this is more like a swing trading approach. I definitely recommend most of you to be investors first, and then later you can be a swing trader, where every so often, twice, 3 times a month, you do a option play, or you do a short like your swing trading play on a stocks or cryptocurrencies. At this current moment, I have one position on cryptocurrencies for swing trading approach that I'm holding for about 60 days. If you guys are in my Discord, the exclusive Discord, I made a post about that 2 days ago. So we do I share information from insiders from cryptocurrencies, people that get some information earlier than the masses, and I share that in the Discord. So that's what the exclusive Discord is. If you want to join in, you can sign up to my Patreon, connect with the Discord that way, and you'll have access to my post whenever I make them. So with that said, let's get into some news. But before, I have to say salute again to Sunbreeze, being participant in the chat, and thank you for being active. And I see I'm doing great. Let's get bullish. Absolutely. Let me see that light again. That light is bullish. Change it for today. It's not the Bitcoin orange light. It's the bullish light. And the bullish can be on any market. It can be stocks. It can be on cryptocurrencies. And more importantly, we're gonna do some analysis on the big market as a whole to see in the short or medium term, is this a good time to invest in a stock or crypto market? That could also be a discussion for tonight. We're gonna get into it, but hopefully we'll get someone joining the panel tonight. If not, I'll interact with you guys on the chat if you want. And you said also that it's almost your B day and it's a Taurus season. Oh man, I wish you all the bullishness action in the coming weeks, and happy birthday ahead of time. All right, guys. So let me start sharing my screen and see what you guys show you what's going on. And I see Need Watches. How are you doing? Thank you for joining in. Need Watches, do you have any stocks or cryptocurrencies that you're looking into? Is there any companies that produce luxury watches that are listed in the stock market? So let me know. That would be an interesting thing to look at. But I haven't. I don't think I've ever seen a company that was listed on the stock market, like a Rolex, for example. That would have been a nice investment, especially if you're passionate about watches. That's another way to invest, guys. And that's a key word for anyone watching. The first investment you should be looking to make is to do basically invest in what you're passionate about, right? That's what I'm saying, guys. Not everyone can be a businessman. And to be honest, whether you're a businessman or an investor, the chances are 9 out of 10 times you're going to lose money. And most investors or businesses fail or lose money, right? But one of the things that is going to keep you going is investing in your passion, because whether you're making or lose money, you're still going to have those same passions. So if you channel that energy that you already have passionate about something, you put that in the stock market, that's actually going to benefit you, because when you lose money, most of the time people are down, right? They're not necessarily like want to invest again. But if you're passionate about it, you might gonna gamble about it again. And it's not going to become a gamble anymore. It's more like you're passionate, you're doing the research. Because you're keeping up to date to this, you may actually know things that most of the people don't know. Like, I was passionate about Tesla. In one day in my paper trading, I actually did 55,000 in options trading Tesla, right? It's because I was passionate about it. I am an electrical engineer. I'm passionate about renewable energy. I was watching like Reddit blogs. I was watching websites, like underground websites, some website where engineers from Tesla was leaking information. So I was literally getting insiders information months before it was making public. So by the time the Model 3 came out, I knew almost everything about the AI, how it worked, like what they were working on behind the scene before it was launched. I knew which day that it was going to be announced. So I made some play, and that day that they announced the Model 3, they made it public. They had the presentation to the world. Well, that day my paper trading made 55,000, but I didn't had enough money back then to even invest. I didn't even know back then how to invest in the stock market. But Tesla was the first thing that I tried that got me into the stock market. And from there on, I stayed in a renewable, kind of like green energy sector. My second play was with hydrogen stocks, and I made a lot of money with hydrogen stocks. My first $20,000 from investing was in on hydrogen stocks. I turned $500 into $20,000 in 9 months from making plays like that. Right? It all started from passion. Like if I wasn't passionate about it, I wouldn't even look into it. I wouldn't do the research. I wouldn't spend the time, the grind, the investigation, right? But because I'm passionate about it, it led me to finding information before anyone else. And that's how I was able to capitalize and make a lot of money. So definitely advice to some of you guys, invest in your passion. And talking about passion, I see Need Watch is here. I hope he's ready. But I see him here. Definitely want to have him on the panel. How are you doing, sir?
Doing good, doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very fine.
Okay,
Great
perfect.
voice.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm not I actually just finished editing a video, but then like I'm not cam ready right now, so
Ah,
apologies
no
for that.
worries, man. No worries. With your voice, we can hear the beautiful face you have as
Oh
well.
man, appreciate you. But funny that you mentioned that because there actually are quite a few watch companies that are publicly traded.
Really?
Yeah, so you're familiar with Fossil
No.
watches?
Oh yeah,
Fossil.
I've seen it before. I've seen, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Fossil Group is actually on the Nasdaq. That if you want to look it up, I don't know if you're kind of doing an interactive thing or not,
Of
but
course, of course. That's what we're doing
yeah,
today.
yeah.
Very
F.
quickly, I want to join. I want to ask. I see. Need one. Sorry, Sunbreeze ask a question. Do you invest in stocks at the current moment? I hold no stocks, and that is by design. That is by design. I hold no stocks, but trust me, I am watching them very closely and waiting for the time that I can dive in all over again. But started in 2021, last year, January, I sold all my stocks and put that money back into my crypto portfolio, which 10x, by the way. So that was the best move that I did. And then now I'm selling off a lot of my cryptos, waiting for the market to calm down. And then re-enter the crypto market in some positions and waiting to enter the stock market. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit worried about the overall take of the stock market, but you never know. Sometimes some investment might attract my eyes, and if it's good enough, I might get in. So at the moment, I'm not holding stocks, but I do invest in stocks and cryptos. But yes, need watches. Yes, you said that you had a. Let me share my screen with you, and we're going to look at that.
Okay. Yeah, I have the ticker.
Yeah.
It's FOSL. I might let me do.
FSL.
Yeah, they should be on the New York Stock Exchange or the Nasdaq.
Yeah, Nasdaq. That's where it is. Fossil. Perfect. Perfect. So you see, like what I do is, when I hear something like that, like let's say I don't know anything about the company, right, and I'm trying to evaluate if this is a good play for me. The first thing I do, I plug it in into this chart software right here, just to get a sense of what's happening with the price action, and then I let my eyes and mind and see what's going on. And in a weird way, before I even do my research, I kind of let the chart tell me the story,
For
right?
sure.
And the price action. And another way, guys, that I do is I use the moving averages, which is the 50 moving average is green, and but the line that you see in green is basically, you see the price is fluctuating up and down, so it's basically doing an average, and you can set the parameters. So you see that it's lagging, but is that because there's a 50-day lag between the price you see here and then that point here. So that point you see here is the average of this point right here. So that's basically how the moving average works. This is for 50 days, and then this is the 200 days. And there is a reason why I chose this pattern. I find it very accurate when it comes to long-term investing approach. And yeah, so I look at the actual price action, and then I look at the moving average to see the trend, and then I let that talks to me. So from just out of just by watching it, I see that no, obviously it's been going down. That's the most obvious thing we can say about it. It's been going down since 2014 until now. But what I also see is since 2020, there's some interesting actions going on. So this could be an interesting play right here.
Yeah, I mean it's dirt cheap right now. Granted, 2014 was a long time ago when they were up over $100 a share.
Yeah,
But you
interesting.
know, it's yeah, and Fossil. It's not a. I would say they make kind of more designer watches, which is
Okay.
not a bad thing, because designer watches are popular. So
Yeah.
while I wouldn't necessarily, there are a couple I might buy, but they're not my bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as an investment, I mean, $10 a share ish. You know, what I mean, if you wanted to diversify your portfolio a little bit,
But
it wouldn't necessarily be a bad shot. I mean, it just depends though. I mean, this
no
market
worry.
is volatile.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So, what are the watches that you're passionate about? Like, if you had to say your top three watches, what would they be? Like,
uh,
let's say that you, no question. Like, let's say that they're not even listed on the stock market, but just out of like your passions, things you like. What would you say your top three would be?
right now, I would say probably Omega, Rolex, and Grand Seiko, two of which are publicly traded. Funny
Really?
enough. So if we talk about Seiko is actually on the Toronto Stock Exchange, which will help you. Wouldn't help me any.
Why not? You can.
I don't. Can you? I don't know. Can I, as a U.S. citizen, can I get into
Of
that
course.
action? Oh, I
Of
didn't know
course,
that.
my man. All you have
See?
to do is to find a broker that will allow you to do that.
Oh, that's true.
I have a broker that allows me to do that from the Toronto Stock Exchange and the US Stock Exchange. Like pretty much most brokers in Canada do that because the US that's where the money's at, right?
Right, right.
But
So check
but
this out. I can give you it's 8050.t is
uh
there for
wait,
the Seiko, and that
let me
will
see if I can open more.
yeah, that one, the number may surprise you on the price on that.
I wanted to walk you through some things too.
Oh, sure.
It's not mostly the price that matters
Well, that's
because
true.
you might see a stock that looks at $100 and you might think it's expensive, but when you look at the overall market cap, and it might be actually cheap. So, and
True.
that's why I ask you about your top three. It's because there is something I wanted to do because one of the things I do, and that's also for lesson for people watching, because I'm also using this as a guide to walk them through how I actually evaluate potential investments, right? So one thing you do is when you do find one stock in something that you're looking into, it's good to have a comparison with others in the niche, right? So on a good way, you could find maybe the most popular in the niche, and then you can find the least popular, and then see where your current stocks fits in. And I'll show you things I'm going to look at to evaluate that. So when I ask you this, the three top three that you want, I'm happy to hear two of them are listed, but it's because if you're passionate about it, you're going to do a lot of research, you're going to do the work, you're going to get some information that I may not know about because I'm not following the industry. That's one thing. The other thing is you can also use that as a way to compare to see if you're getting a bargain with the fossil versus omega. You see what I'm saying?
Got it.
So it's actually a strategic question when I ask. So what's the sticker for the new
For Seiko, it is 8050.t, which I guess that's a Toronto thing.
no
Yeah,
way.
8050.t.
What? Actually, it's
There it
actually
is.
worked
It's right
that way.
there. Yep.
TSC, Toronto Stock Exchange. Wow. I've never heard of stock like that before, man. This is crazy. I'm learning today. So yeah, Seiko Holding Corporation. And then now we have something to work with, right? But man, what is this? This is not even a price. To 21.98.
Yeah, they're killing the game right now, man. That Seiko's.
What's going on? All right. And you said that you had another one, correct?
Yeah, Omega is on the Swiss Stock Exchange. Let me
Okay.
find that one for you. Give me one second.
Per-
Actually, we could
Perfect.
do if you want. There's another American one. Are you familiar with Movado?
Look, yes.
Yeah, Movado is on the New York Stock Exchange. MOV.
Okay, give me a second. All
Yeah,
right.
just I don't know.
I'll
Other,
let that
sorry.
load up. But meantime, I'm going to pay attention to some of the things I see here.
All right. I'm going to mute
Uh,
real quick while I find the Omega
y-
because I don't want to,
yeah, no
background
worries, no
noise.
worries. In the meantime, let's say hello to Alonzo Hall, the All Star Advisor. Salute to you, sir. Salute to you. And is it above the 50 SMA? So a moving average, right? If you're looking at this, well, I make it color coded so it's easy to see. The green is the 50 moving average, and then the red is the 200 moving average. So the price right now is below the 50 moving average, which technically is at the moment it's a bear market. The other things notice is if you see the 200-day moving average is above the 50-day moving average, that and two things to know if it's a bear market. First thing is, do you have a dead cross? And what is a dead cross? It's when the 200-day moving average is above the 50-day moving average. So that's a little bit of a technical analysis, but that's how you know it's a dead cross, and that's the first thing that requires to have a bear market. The second thing is the price action of today's time is below the 50-day and the 200-day moving average. And at the moment, right now, when it comes to fossil group, it is in a bear market. Why? Because the two conditions have been met. We have a dead cross right here in September 2021, and then we have the current day right now in April 20th. The price action is still under the two moving averages. So that's how you know right now it's in a bear market. A bear market meaning the sellers are in control. There are lots of sales. And then buyers, maybe, hey, you know what? If you're interested in buying, it could be a good time because the lower the price goes, well, the cheaper you'll get it, right? So the more stocks you can stack up. The other thing is you can see the trend. The trend is about to curve and it's heading down. So it might be heading down like that for a while unless there is some price action. So if we're looking at technical analysis, that's what we're looking at. And we can do technical analysis on a macro scale and then more on a day-to-day approach, and I'll do that as well. But before I go too details on that, I love to do those comparative analysis first. So that's when I'm going to look at this one, for example, Seco. And what do we see? We see that okay, we were in a bear market for Seco around even up to 20 March, February 2021. Then look at that. There was a giant pump right here that pushed the price above the moving average, which was the first thing that requires to for a bull market. And then now we have the cross. We have the cross right here that happened in February. So now that's an interesting cross because this is a cross that symbolizes a bull market is coming for this stock. And then, but the price action is still undecided, right? It wants to be above and then it doesn't, it's still below today. So we're going to need more certainty from that stock from a technical analysis perspective. But if you want to make great investments, technical analysis perspective is not enough. You need more information. So I'm going to ask Needs Watches if he has the other.
I do. I do.
Perfect.
So this is on, I believe, the Swiss Stock Exchange, but it is UHR.
UHR.
Yep. Swatch Group, the first one. Yep.
Okay, I'll choose this one because that's the Swiss
Yeah.
market.
Yep. That's the one.
Perfect. All right, let's see. $200. All right. So right now I'm not even looking at the price. What I'm mostly looking at is the trend, right? I'm doing an analysis on the market by analyzing, some of the top two watches that he is passionate about, but also getting a sense of what's happening in the watches sector right now. You could see that for the most part, it's been in a bear market, but there seems to be some action lately that symbolize that, hey, look at this pump right here. This is a nice candle today. So today, for some reason, maybe there was some good news or something. And the beauty of this stock is this one here. It's also a dividend paying stock. So that's interesting, right? Payment dates and May 2022. Last payment was in May, so once a year it pays you, and the gross is $3.5 per stock. So per share, right? For every share you hold, you're gonna get $3.5 for it, and sometimes it can be $5.5 in it. That's an interesting company. Interesting company. Usually we get it per quarter in the states, right? But this one, and sometimes rarely we get it per month, but this one is per year. Sheesh. And it's an interesting yield. Interesting yield. So a share like that, if you could get it below $100 or around $100, that would be a beautiful price. If you could get something like that here around the 180, 150 range, that would have been the probably arguably the best buys in a decade, right? So that's the way I see it. But that's an interesting pattern. We're gonna get into it. Okay, so the next thing I do, and after we're going to move to another sector too, but I wanted to spend the time and go over those, the one you wanted to talk about. But yeah, need watch is the first. The other thing I do is it's not the price that matters, right? It's the market cap. Okay, and one way you can do that is if you go on Yahoo Finance, maybe you type the ticker, it's going to tell you about the market cap. If
Yep.
you're using Trading View, which is it could look a little bit intimidated at first, but with some time you're going to learn how to use it, and after that it's pretty easy to use. You can get some information like it tells you a little bit about the company, and there is something about Trading View that I love. I mean, I'll try to zoom it for you guys here. It says more financials, right? So the first thing I do is, I try to get a group of stocks in the same sector to evaluate the one I want to invest in. So we want to see if this is a good investment right now, and we're evaluating the market of watches by looking at other big companies, right? And then what I do is I try to get a sense of the market cap of the company. So we're looking at the Swatch group. And in terms of market cap, this one is a 13 billion company, $13 billion company. And it's still on a downtrend, and it's been on a downtrend since 2014. So there was a time in the early, like 2012, 2013, this company was worth close to $30 billion. It's
Yeah, that sounds right. They were killing it, man. The 20,
ooh.
yeah, they were.
So from that perspective, it's technically a cheap price, because if this company can be worth $30 billion,
Right.
you see what I'm saying? From
Mm-hmm.
that perspective, I'm not saying it's cheap, but this is a much better price. This is half the price from almost 10 years ago.
Right.
Right. So that's one thing to do. But should you invest in it? It depends. Maybe they are going to continue to go down. Maybe they're killing it on the watches, but financially they're not. Right.
Right.
So
Right.
so that's where the question comes in. But I wanted to watch, 13 billion. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is the same thing for the Seiko, just to see what are we talking about here, right? What's the what's the market cap? And the market cap is a simple calculation. It's the price per share times the amount of shares in circulation. So that number times the amount of shares in circulation creates the market cap, and that's how you know. But this one, holy cow! This one
Yeah.
is 88 billion. Man, I didn't realize there is companies in the watches market that was so much. That's almost $100 billion company.
Yes, sir.
Ooh. Wait, I'm gonna have to start looking into this, my man. This is interesting. Huh.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
luxury goods, and they've been around. A lot of these companies have been around forever. So obviously, like you said, sometimes their financials might not be that good, but a lot of people buy this stuff legacy, and what I mean is, your dad bought it, or your granddad bought Seiko. Now your dad bought Seiko. Now you're buying Seiko, so they kind of get a weird position where they can stay relevant for a lot of generations. I mean, I do see that big dip that they had.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a giant deep. But look at this, man. Around that time, that means the company was twice as much than it is now. So it is almost at $100 billion now. So that was almost 200 billion.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
overvalued, man. That's why it's deep. It is because when it goes like this, it's overvalued. It needs to correct itself. But you see the big value, even though that it's going down, and it's still at least it's still at least $40 billion. So if you could get this company around that price, man, that's a beautiful buy. But if it's not paying dividend, I don't know. You just might want to make price appreciation. But last time this happened, you see, last time it's touched this line here. If you, wait, let me put it on a monthly basis. You'll see what I mean. So we're looking at per month, right? I drew the line here. Last time the price touches this line, look how fast it went up.
Yeah,
Right?
that's kind of crazy, isn't it? I mean, it just had
So
a steady, yeah.
exactly. So right there, without even doing more analysis, just one thing you can look at. You can look at companies that I love. Wait for them to wait like this. You already know they've been like this um, nice company that's been a long time. They're doing great products. So if something happened in a market, like a bad news, for example, anything like a bad news on the market can create, like let's say someone does some awful act, recorded, right? And then they recorded it, and let's say they're shooting something. And they're shooting it, and they had a watch from Seiko as they were shooting it, and that was caught
Right.
on camera. Something like that's gonna bring the market down, crash it, right? But does that mean Seiko creates bad watches? Absolutely not. So,
Right.
in terms of a product, in terms of a fundamental work, nothing changed. The only thing that changed was the perception of the public for a short period of time, and usually after a couple months, the price appreciates again. So, should something like that happen, right? And then the price crash all the way here, man, don't hesitate, man.
Right. You're right. No, I see that. I appreciate it, man, because I think this is the first time I've had someone kind of explain the technical analysis, in a way that was easy to understand. So I appreciate you for that. Because
Hey,
I've
no
had
worries,
people
man.
try to explain it, and it's like, what? Okay,
Hey,
sure, I get it.
Hey, no worries, man. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. All right. So now we have a sense, right? We know you want a great company. So when you think about it, this company compared to Seiko is undervalued. If in your opinion they're making watches that are comparable to Seiko, but then it's 10 billion as opposed to how much? How many billion? It was like what, 30?
88, we'll say right now.
Yeah, Seiko was 88, but the Swatches was 80. It was 40
It's like
something.
10, I thought, right?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
13.
13 billion. So you see the difference, right? So
Yeah.
from that perspective, if you believe that if you believe the Swatch company can raise in terms of brand to get to 50 billion maybe, then that's almost 5x on your money,
That's true. That's
right?
true.
So that's what I'm saying. $200 may not necessarily be a expensive price in comparison to what this company offers in the market and what the potential are. Right. Now let's look at this one, Fossil, at $10. Again, we're gonna look at the for financials. We're gonna try to get a sense of who of the market cap, and look at what we're seeing right now. The market cap is not even in the billions.
Right, right.
It's not even in the billions. It's 556 million. So all this company has to do, and it's been on the downtrend for a while, and we're going to go deeper on the downtrend on financial if anyone wants to see the financial like information of this company. But what I see here is if this company could, because basically the watch game, it's all about branding, right?
Correct. Marketing and branding. Absolutely.
So the question is, are they suffering from previous action that they have made in the 70s, 80s that affects the branding and they will never reach a certain level? Or are they having a new CEO that is younger, that is approaching a new market? Like, you see what I'm saying? So things like that are extremely important to keep track of as you're evaluating this as a potential. But with that said, me, if I had the price here on the green line right here or at $2, I wouldn't hesitate.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. It's funny because and this was a blind, not a blind investment, a sort of blind investment. And not to change topics or anything, but just to
Yeah.
give you kind of a comparison. Plug Power a couple of years ago was like $2, $1.50 or whatever, and that thing rode all the way up to like 77 before it went back down to 20.
I sold it at 30.
Yeah, I sold mine. I sold it in increments, but the last time I sold it was like 68.
Wow, you made more
Oh
money than
man,
me.
I
But
was
I
very
was
happy.
swing trading that. So I was
Ah,
yeah, I that plug was the second hydrogen um stock that I was investing in.
yeah, Plug. That made me a believer in the stock market. I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
is how this works,
The,
man.
when I was talking about earlier the 20,000 I made with $500, that was with F cell. That was the
Yep, F
other.
sells the other one. Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
So it's the same work I've done. I did the analysis from F cell first. Then I'm like, what other hydrogen stock was in the niche? I'm like, oh,
yep,
plug is there. And then there was another one that I didn't invest in, but I invest plug, I invest in F cell. Why? Because the overall market was way undervalued than what the potential of this market could have been. And once I understood that, I put money in both of them and I multiply my money like crazy, right? But if you were doing a swing trading on top of that, it goes up because let me show you something, right? When it goes up like this, it's called we call this hyperbolic. It goes
correct.
here and then it goes all the way up like this. It's gonna crash
Right.
because it's not sustainable. It's gradual growth are more sustainable. Like you see, this price goes gradually here and crash a little bit, but then it grows again. But by the time it reached this price level again, it took years. Versus this one went super fast, and by the time it reaches again, like it's very as the faster they rise, the faster they fall, right? And that's the logic. So if you swing trading it and you make that money here, you sell it because you know that it's going to crash. And another indicator you can use to know that is what I call the RSI. Not I don't call that the RSI. It is called the RSI. My bad. Uh, the relative strength index, and that's where this platform is useful because you can overlay other indexes to give you a better view of what's going on. And then me, I keep it super simple, super simple. The RSI measures the strengths of buy and sell and momentums of a stock, right? So let's say the 50 the 50 line is the average. Let's say if it's below the 50, it's a bear market. If above the 50, it's a bull market, right? But when it's in the 30 zone, this is a over, like if it's below the 30, that means it's oversold. That means there is people are selling it too much compared to its evaluation, what it's worth. Oversold.
Got it. Okay, I always wonder what that meant.
And then this is the exact opposite on the other side. When people are buying it and it's over 70 on the RSI indicator, it means, well, people are just buying it too much. It's overvalued. This means it's undervalued compared to its actual evaluation on a short term. This means it's overvalued on our evaluation on a short term, right? So whenever I see it here, that's exactly why I put this line red and I put this line green, because when it's undervalued, I buy. When it's overvalued, I sell. And then that's how I swing trade.
Yeah, no, that's sick. It's Trading View because I have a Thinkorswim, but man, Thinkorswim's kind
Yeah,
of
you want to use something like that for charts, man. And most people are starting to use Trading View now, and you can create a free account, and then you can write it like that way. But man, you do it that way, man. 30. So going back to your fossil, you see, so it's in a bear market. We know that, but if you could wait until it gets here, that's when you know it's a great buy. It's already a great buy in my opinion. No, it's a good buy in my opinion, but because it's below the 50, also because it's in a bear market, it's already there seems to be some actions last year that make it broke the trend. This was a downtrend for a very long time. You can see the line here, and then now the price action is above this line. So that to me is a good sign on a shorter term. And what I love about it the most, it's not even the price action, it's the evaluation. It's at 500 millions. It's not even worth a billion yet. Other companies in the same niche are worth 13 billions, 88 billions at current price. So the chances for this company to at least reach $1 billion is interesting, to say the least. And anything that can reach 1 billion can also reach 2. And if you buy it at 500 million, that means you almost 4x your money, or you at least double
Yeah.
your money. So that's how you can play it. But if you can get it around $5, $2, man, regardless, I would have loaded up on it. So
Good
uh,
call.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you can add that in your watch list, especially if you're passionate about watches. Add that to your watch list and then play with it, man. Keep an eye on it, check on it every so often, and then see what it does, and keep following the news. More importantly, follow the news, and that's how you know. And beautiful thing about TradingView is you can click here and it tells you some highlights, news that can affect the market when it comes to this company. Sometimes it could be the industry. So
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I definitely appreciate it. That is sick.
yeah.
I gotta take you up on that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into that. But yeah, I'll go ahead and drop off, man. But yeah, thank you. That was awesome.
Hey, no worries, man. No worries. Thank you for coming in, and I'm happy I could help. If you have any questions, feel free to ask or Discord or anywhere else.
All right, man. Thanks. Take care.
All right, salute, salute. All right, guys. All right. So yeah, that was an interesting company right here. I have heard about them before, but I think the evaluation that's currently having it's interesting to say the least. It yeah, on a short term, I mean long term, I do see the potential that it could get to $1 billion one day, but it all depends on branding, and they're going to have to do a lot of work to change the perception, their brands, maybe target a younger market, or you can see that on a website they already have younger people wearing it, so maybe that's the way to go, right? People are not necessarily having the money now in a recession to buy expensive watches like Rolex, for example. Maybe they might, if they could do a model that resembles like a Rolex one, but not exactly like a Rolex, that could be a way to get more money in, right? So if they could do something innovative to change the branding aspect of it, that company could have the potential to reach a billion, which means it will double the money that you would be invested. But the only way you would know that is by doing research, listening to what the CEO says, getting the CEO's mindset, understand their future plans. So although it's a good price, it could be at a better price if it gets to $5. But fundamentals research is the key, and that takes time. That's something that you have to be passionate about to do it right. But that's how you play the game. That's how you play the game. Yes, Wally, this is Trading View, and salute to you, James Tony. How are you doing, James Tony? It looks like it was trying to build a third stage, which I don't know. It's a drop on the second leg down. You see undervalue. Wait, you're talking about the well, yeah. To me, if we're talking about this company, it's it's not undervalued, but it's getting there. It's getting there, especially if the price action, but it has shown up before where it was 10 times more than what it is now, right? So a $25 price action average for this stock is very likely. Like that would be its natural price action, like something like this, where 29, 15, 29 to 40, like this is where I expect the stock to be. Like if it's being well managed, this is where it should be. Not here, not here. But this is already almost three times your money, right? So it's in a way it's a little bit under a value in a way, right? But anyway, that's uh, w- watches are dead unless for the side symbols. I don't know. I would disagree with that, James Tony. Because uh, it's since last year, watches have you can see it on the chart, right? Last year, 2020, they look at this pump right here. When was the last time you saw a candle like that on this action? Look at this pump from $9 all the way to 28, and then it went back to like you don't see these pumps often. Last year there seems to be some, I don't know, people are chasing watches like crazy. And some of them they don't have a lot of money to get the big ones. Those are they go on the lower ones, right? And that is something that is validated in the industry. You can see from 2020, there's been some interesting pumps. The and riding all the way. Look at how many candles are going by, and this is monthly candles, right? So in 2020, green. This is February 2021, green, and then green, 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 and now it's going sideways on this section. But I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't say watches are dead. Um, but it depends. If it depends if you're passionate about it to stick with it or not. But let's get it. All right, I see questions. Apple watches give you direction. Well, if you're looking at what is more practical, of course, man, there's no discussion about that. But some people they don't necessarily buy watches for utility; they just buy it for asset appreciation, right? Luxury watches is almost kind of an investment on its own. You could flip them, right, and make 10,000 profit, $20,000 profit on flipping watches. So there is they hold their value pretty good. Luxury watches, maybe not this company per se, but the luxury watch brand or niche, it's not necessarily a bad niche to be in. They do, yeah, a lot of companies do buybacks too. So that's when the financials are going to play. I may not stay too long on the financial side, or maybe we might do it for Snapchat. Maybe we might do it for Snapchat. Salute to you, Sun Breeze. Can we take a look at Snapchat? All right, let's do that. Especially, it will be an interesting play because to be honest, I haven't been following Snapchat in a while. So, but with what's happening right now with Twitter, is going to be an interesting thing to see. So, what's going on in Snapchat here? So, question is, they have been beaten like crazy um, since Facebook stole their ideas with Reels and Stories. It was Stories, not Reels. Reels is new, but Um, Stories is something else. But look at this company, man. Look at this. On a weekly basis, it was undervalued here in 2018, and nice ride from 2018 at we're talking about $5, and then it went overvalued and it stayed there and it went all the way up 2021. So for it to go up this long to me means we're in a bear market right now. This is 15x, right? This is like 1500% from 2018 to 2021. Mm, you know, and it's been going up for a while. So when it goes up for a while like that, it needs some times to recover. But on a weekly chart, we're starting to hit this green line again. That's interesting, right? So maybe some interesting price action might be heading. And I would say a price action like this around the $20 range would be a great price to get in because that used to be resistance, it broke it, and then it hasn't retest those resistance as a support anymore. So eventually we see the bear market is coming on the weekly chart. I'm sure it's already there on the daily chart. You see, it's already there on a daily chart. So more price actions on the downside is ahead. And then if you can buy it and wait for it, what happened on a $20 range, that could be a good entry on a technical aspect of this chart. But like I said, if you want to invest in something, technical chart is not the only way to do it. You need to understand what's happening with this company. What are the projections, right? First, you can look at their financial sheets. Then after you can look at what listening to the CEOs, what do they want to do? What are their plans? How are they doing something innovative? Are they competing? And at 50 billion market cap, they may have to they may have to up their games a little bit if they really want to stay up there. Because Twitter, it seems that with what Elon Musk is doing, if he ever goes there, it's coming for the social media apps, right? So if you're not strong, you're going to get hit by what Elon's going to do. So that could affect the market too. So we don't know. But interesting, right? Interesting. Total revenue, net revenue, and I like to do expenses. Let's see. No, not that. So yeah, that's another way I look at the charts. Income statement, revenue, net income, down, 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 down. Expenses are going higher every year. Revenue is going higher, but their income is not. Right. So what's the difference between revenue and income? Let's say you're buying something. Let's say as a company you're selling a product, right? You're selling a product, so the money that you get from the sales is your revenue, right? If you're selling it at $10, your revenue is $10. That's going to go in the books as revenue. But is that your income? Not necessarily. You didn't made $10 from this. You sold it at $10. Your income is going to be your expenses, your revenue minus your expenses, right? How much did you have to pay to sell this at $10? Did you have to pay $2 to sell it at $10? In that way, your revenue could be $8, right? But in this case, the total operating expenses have been more than the revenue, right? That means you sold it at $10, but you had to spend $20, $30 to be able to sell something at $10. So you're kind of in a deficit in a way. And that's why the net income is down. You see? So this company is not necessarily profitable because their net income, if you're a person, right, you have to spend twice as much to go to work than what you're getting. So let's say your salary is 50K, but you have to spend 100K to go to work to make 50K, right? So you're at a deficit of 50K. So that's what you're seeing at right now on the income statement. And there's a lot more numbers you can look at if you want to go details. When I look at evaluating a company on the short term, I don't even go to all that. I just look at this total revenue, net income, expenses, what's going on, right? I want to see your income and revenue higher than your expenses. That's a good sign. But usually when a company gets to that point, you may not necessarily be undervalued, right? But sometimes you do find companies like that are having a great balance sheet that are undervalued. And that right there, it's something that should turn you on, that has a great investment to make, right? Other things you can do is assets that liabilities. So one of the things you can deduct is all that money that they're doing, total expenses, things that they're buying. Some of that could actually make its way to buying more assets, because when you look at the assets liability columns, their assets is a lot more than the liability. So on a balance sheet, this is a good one. This is a good ratio to have. You want your assets to be more, and they hold $7.5 billion worth of assets for 3.7 billion worth of liabilities in last year. All right. I don't think their cash flow will be great, especially if their expenses is that high. But cash from financing activities is up, but cash flow from operating activities is down. you want to have at least that number up, cash flow from operating operation. But if it's not having a lot of incomes, it's not going to have a good cash flow, right? So cash flow from investing activities is also down. So in a nutshell, this company is to me overvalued, right? Um, their basically assets is in, talking about what, 7 billions worth of assets, but the entire market cap is 49 billion for a company that is not profitable. So finance sheet to me is not appealing. It's not something that I would want to hold long term, not at this moment. But if it was to go maybe 15 billion, it could be interesting, right? So definitely a bear market is coming, more price action or downside to come. And a good entry would be here, but you have to wait to see if it's going to break that line and go lower, or and I think I think it's not even about what the CEO wants to do with this company. It's more about what the bigger forces like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter now with Elon Musk, what do they plan on doing and how that's going to affect this company right here? Because they might completely put them out of business, and at that point, $20 is not a good entry anymore. So risky, right? And but right now it's not right now. If we're talking about today's price, I wouldn't say it's a good time to buy. Because it could go lower. And oh no, I bought it at $10 many years ago. Okay, so if you bought it at $10 many years ago, so technically right now you should be in profit, right? And a good time to sell would have been here. Woo! Especially around here, right? $60, man. That's what I'm saying, guys. You gotta be able to do your technical analysis sometimes, man. Because look, the if you put it on a weekly, you might get a better view. Let's see. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So $10 would be here. Whew. So let's say you bought this many years ago, 2017, and it was $10, right? You didn't make much money, you were at a loss, and in 2020 it started to go up again. Why? Because you can think about many people are not going to work, they're stuck home, they're not, they have more time to play on their phones, on their snaps, right? What happened in 2020? There was OnlyFans. OnlyFans started, right? So girls, and a lot of there's a lot of girls right now that are they had Snap Premium, right? Snap Premium means more income for snaps, but there if OnlyFans is rising, is competing with snaps, right? They may maybe offer better price and something. They might do something that encourage more people to go and Snap Premium. But it's interesting to me that started 2020, it had a dip with every stock when we had the lockdown, and it went straight up after that. That means the users had more time to play with snaps. At the same time, something was that created more income for them, right? So if you were an investor, you're looking at the weekly chart, and sometimes you could even put on the monthly chart to get a better view. And on the monthly chart, see, here's how you know, right? On a daily chart, you are in the overvalue. You're touching the overvalue. You put it on a weekly chart, you're also overvalue. You put it on a monthly chart, you are also under overvalue. At that moment, it's time to sell. I don't care how much you love this stock, it's time to sell because in tweet charts, it's overvalued. And when the longer the time frame, the more like significant what you're seeing. Like if you're seeing overvalue on a weekly and you're seeing overvalue on a monthly, well, the monthly is definitely more significant. And the reason why, if it is overvalue on a monthly chart, that means it's going to take months before it goes to an undervalue. If you're seeing it um, overvalued on the weekly chart, that means it's going to take weeks before it gets to that sector again where you want to buy it. So that's where it is right now on the weekly chart, but you can see it still has room to go on the monthly chart. The best buy you can make for stocks you want is to buy it where there is undervalue on the monthly chart with some indication that it's going to pump again on the other side. Slash, maybe they're doing an innovation, maybe there is some news you don't know about, insider news, things like that. But things going down is not necessarily always a good thing, because sometimes things goes down and they don't go back up, right? So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Yes, it is overvalued. I'm hoping to go sideways range for things like this. And that's where technical analysis comes in, right? It's not necessarily what you're hoping, it's what the chart says, right? You got to approach it sometimes as a cold doctor who's willing to ampute the leg if it's not doing what it's supposed to do. But one thing for sure is, if you bought it at $10, you technically made money. You're still making money, and 90% of investors lose money. Okay, so sometimes it's better to collect your profit than hoping more, because you might hope and then it goes here and it goes. Man, maybe you might want to wait until you reach $20 and decide what you want to do. But one thing for sure, if you have a major dip from that line on a downside, miss, yeah, don't wait. It's going to $10 again. If you break this line, it's going to $10. It's that simple. So you want the price to hold that for a long time, but seeing this cross happening in a weekly chart, seeing that we still have some room to go on the monthly, uh, I I think I say at the very least we're going to hit $20 in a couple months. At the very least, right? So maybe a better play to be would be sell now and see what happens here. And if it goes lower and you're still interested, you might want to dive deep again. So that way you can buy, if you sell at $30 and you buy it at $10, that means you can buy 3 times the amount of shares that you currently have right now. That's what it means. So that could be a play too. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just trying to show you what I would have done if I was interested in this stock, and the thought process that I go through when I look at the fundamentals, when I look at the charts, very quickly before I do my deep research of understanding the mindset of the founder. Because I may say all that, and that could have been a great investment, but then I realize that, hey, the CEO is not really. He's just there to be a CEO, but not necessarily do anything innovative, not necessarily changing the game, uh, be ambitious, right? If I don't see that as an investor, why am I holding you, right? I want to make money, and if you're not pushing it out there and fighting IG and hold IG to the horn, and which is not easy to do. It's not easy to beat Mr. Zuck right now, but I want a CEO that believes he can do it, right? If I have a CEO that believes he can do it, then eventually he'll try to find it, and that could inspire more innovation, something that Facebook hasn't thought about. And maybe then Facebook might say, you know what, I'm going to buy you guys and buy you at profit. So you don't know, right? But that's the type of mindset I love to hear from my CEOs. And this is where the research comes in. You might find Twitter posts from this company. You might find earning calls and listen to what they're saying. But if you don't hear anything about that innovation, things coming ahead, things that you're excited about, I don't know. But as investors, that's what you do. Do you guys have any cryptos you want to talk about yourself? Any cryptos you guys are interested to talk about as well? Let me know. Let's see, comment section. Salute Lashes if you're still here. Salute. What's going on? Earning. Oh, sorry, I miss couples chat. Sorry, guys. Um, long cents and dollars. Okima, how are you doing, sir? Or man, I'm not sure. How are you doing? Uh, check out TNP. Okay, Wally. Let's do that. And but I want to hear about stocks after that. All right, I want to hear about stocks too. Spectacles are coming back. Okay, we're talking about snaps. Okay, good. Going to see now. Here's the thing. Let's say spectacle are coming back. That's good news. But then you have to hear how does that translate into more income for the company. So if you can get a sense of that and watch the first earning report after maybe 3 4 months this feature is coming out, find the adoptions rate, how many people are using it. If you can get numbers like that, that gives you a sense of okay, more users, more time spent on Snapchat, more income, right? So that's the philosophy that goes. You always think about more money coming in for the company and what's the likelihood of that. But yeah, good that you're keeping track of what's happening. That's good. If you more into dividend investing versus growth investing stocks, James Tony, me, I am more into making money. but I should say my favorite type of investing, it's which I'm going to show you a crypto that I'm going to evaluate tonight before I end the stream. My favorite type of investing, I call it cash flow value investing. You make the money now, you make money in the future, right? Meaning that's the best way to do that in the stock market. Well, it's by holding a dividend. If I can hold something like an apple, I buy it at a good time and I hold it and I'm collecting dividend while it's appreciating like growth stock, that is beautiful, right? That's what I love to do. If I if I don't have a stock that is paying me dividend, I'm still going to invest in it, especially if the fundamentals, if the visions, if I get insider knowledge, if I do all that and I see it and I find it at a great price, like F cell, for example, I'm gonna jump in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing trade it, right? So I'm going to put my chart on a daily chart and then I'm going to see when am I reaching here, buy. When am I reaching here, sell. When I'm reaching below 50, starts buying again. When I reach here, sell. That's how I play. I play one stock. I go like not all in, but almost all in, and then I multiply that money over and over. So that way, the same position, instead of giving me a 50% return, it might give you 150 because I swing traded um over 3 4 months, and then I multiply my money. I know when to get in, when to get out, and I'm still watching the fundamental news. I'm still watching what the CEO is going to do. I pay attention to it even if I'm not holding the current stocks as I wait for the price appreciation to go lower for me to jump back in again. Like if I see something like this is a no-brainer, right? It was here and then very fast it went here. This is a no-brainer. You get it. And that's why a lot of people made money, right? Because they understood what was happening here. Bad news came out. It doesn't change anything from the company from a fundamental perspective. But because of the news, it went down. You see it here, you jump in, you wait a couple months, boom. You could make a nice, interesting money. And that one right here was a 200% play right here in from March to July, 200%, right? Then you could have sold here, wait to see what happened here, and then start jumping again. That's the same money that you multiply 200%. You could make another 200% from that. That's what I do. And when you buy stocks cheaper than you sell it, that's how you multiply your position. It's just a beautiful way to play the game, right? And that's exactly how I was able to turn $500 to $20,000 in 9 months trading one stock, and I made that in 3 trades. 3 trades got me from 500 to $20,000, and that's what I call the wealth engineering principles or the strategies, which I call cash flow value investing. You make money now, you make money in the future. We make money now with value, with some sort of swing trading or dividend pay, and appreciation over time with something like this where I can get like 200% on the long term. So that's how I love to play the game. I hope that answers your question, James Tony. Do you also ask about stocks or crypto? I look at the entire market to decide if I should jump on a stock or crypto market. Last year, when I made the decision to sell all my stock, and trust me, there were some stocks that were paying me beautiful. It was hurting me selling it, right? It's because man, I didn't like what I was seeing, man. The market was too overvalued, right? I'm putting it on a weekly basis. August, it was I sold in here in January. I bought stocks here. sell them here in January, around here, right here. So I made some money, but what you need to understand is while the stock market was already trading on an overvalued side on a weekly chart, the crypto market was just about to break out in January, right? December actually. It started breaking out in December, but I had already my own position turning money like crazy. The last week of 2020, the last week of the last week, December 2020, last week of the 2020, every day Bitcoin was getting $1,000. So I was my kid was getting my kid was being born, and I was at the hospital. Um, every day I checked my phone. Bitcoin was at $20,000, 21, 22, 23, 24. Every day it gets up by $1,000 for like all the way to 30,000. I'm like, what? Right? So that means the market is waking up. And December happened, January happened, and after that, the NFT market blew up. The many of other cryptocurrency, the meme coins blew up. Shiba, right? Made 40,000 on Shiba. Like tons of money that was making. Why? Because what I do, and that's what I teach on my course, is it's not about just the stocks per se. It's understand the forces that can affect your wealth and understand timing. And if you can take your wealth from one market that is overvalued, you put it on a market that is undervalued. That's how I was able to 10x my stock portfolio by not investing in stock, by moving it to cryptocurrencies and ride the wave. Now, the crypto market is the crypto market is been overvalued for a while. It went up, maybe not overvalued, but it went up. It was Bitcoin was dominating, and then now we had many altcoins dominate. So Bitcoin is suffering. So 41% of the total market cap of cryptocurrencies is in Bitcoin right now. Um, it's a great buy out. This is how we know you start buying altcoins when the opposite happens. If you get 50% and above Bitcoin dominance, then you start loading up on your altcoins, waiting for the next bull market, right? And then once you get something like this, you start selling, but then your your altcoins are going to blow up like crazy, right? So that's one thing I look at. The other thing I look at the trend, right? I look at Bitcoins because I know Bitcoin is a leading indicator for the altcoin season. If Bitcoin is going well, the next one to follow up is altcoins. So I made most of my money on altcoins, but my indicator is Bitcoin. It's kind of like watching the S&P 500 for the stock market, right? Sometimes you can watch the Nasdaq. You can watch the Nasdaq, which is almost very similar to the S&P 500. So I watch this entire market, and I see I'm like, I don't like what I see, and that's when I start changing to Bitcoin. But if we're paying attention, Bitcoin has been going sideways for a while, building a triangle. So look at what's happening, guys. Look at the S&P 500 going all the way up. Actually, let me put the Nasdaq because I don't have any chart in it. Look at that. Nasdaq going up, up, reached the top, went down. Now it seems to wants to go sideways, but the moving average is curving. And look at, we're fastly approaching a cross. And this is on the weekly chart. All right. What did I say earlier? Look at the daily chart. The daily chart, we are already in a bear market on the daily chart. But if we get a bear market also in a weekly chart, it gives more strength. And that means more time is going to go by before it goes back on a bear market. So that's what I look at. When I want to make an investment, I look at the macro aspect first to say, is this a good time to buy in the stock market in general, regardless of the stock, when the macro telling me it's overvalued? It's about to start a bear market, right? Yes, no. Let's say I'm on a point like this. Does that mean it's a good time to buy? Well, yeah, because every time it touches this line on a weekly chart, it has been a good time to buy. Like here, for example. right? And you can just look at the RSI. Every time it touched the green, it's a good time to buy. Touch it here, it went up. It touches here, it went up. It touches here, it's starting to go up, but it didn't really touch it, did it? It's like almost did. So I want to have a clean touch. I want to have something like this, right? That's when I know it's touching it. So that's what I'm looking at. And then after the weekly, the other point you can look at is the monthly chart. Look at the monthly chart. The monthly chart is not even 50 yet. So there's a lot of room to go down. And at the very least, it's going to want to touch this moving average on the monthly chart because it has touched it here, right? Every time it tries to separate itself from the moving average, it's kind of like reality kicks in. At the very least, it's going to want to touch these. So that's what I look at. Am I way above the moving average on the monthly chart or am I close to it? Because why? The past, whenever it was close to it, it was a good time to get in. But whenever it was far from it, it was not. So things like this, I look at. So something on a 50 moving average, 50 on the RSI on the monthly chart, anything below is a great buy. Weekly chart, definitely want to wait for the green line to get to a clean touch on this. And daily chart, well, we're already in a bear market. So it just tells me there's more price action to go down. And especially with those high inflation numbers, and the Fed is going to have to increase interest rate. That's going to put pressure on the stock market. It could pop a bubble. Who knows, right? Things like this, this is what I evaluate first before I look at investing in a snap, before I look at investing in a fossil, maybe, right, or any other cryptos that I might be looking into. Then I put it back on the crypto chart. I'm like, okay, what does the crypto say? So this one, you see the trend is curving, it's about to go down, whereas Bitcoin is a different shape. All Bitcoin has been going down, it's been going sideways since 2021, building a triangle. What does that mean? Well, a triangle, it's an indecisive action, and indecisive means you have two options. It can be bullish, it can be bearish. So it's doing a triangle like this, right? So this is a little bit more technical, but when you got a triangle like this, it's an indecisions. It means there is a 75%. When the price action reach 75% of this of the triangle, it's usually make a decision either on the upside or the downside. If we're looking just at the moving average, it seems that we're going to go at least sideways and possibly on the downside because it starts to curve. It's starting to lose momentum. Weekly charts, yeah, you see we're starting to below 50, we're hanging up there. But it could also break the triangle, and if it breaks the triangle, the next goal is 100k Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin goes to 100k, every other crypto is going to blow up too. So there is more chances to make more money on a cryptocurrency, even though we have been going sideways for 2021, because it's not crystal clear that we're in a bear market yet. Whereas the stock market, it's overvalued, it's bear market started. It's just, it doesn't give you signs that we're going to see a blow up soon, right? So because I can get more clarity on the crypto market, that's why right now, although I'm selling off some cryptocurrencies, most of my position, I don't own, I still don't own any stocks. And in swing tradings, long-term investing right now is still in the crypto market. But I have taken some profit when the signs were clear that we were not going to be in a bull market in a while, right? So that's the analysis that I do to know should I go on stocks and cryptos or real estate, right? I took my cash on cryptos, buying real estate with it. I bought a land last year in the Cayman Islands, right? So undervalued lands. I'm already up 15k on my land after buying it for 4 months. So that's how I play the game, guys. I buy undervalues and I wait for it to appreciate over time. And right now, I could literally sell my land right now and make 15K. But maybe I can make more. Who knows? Right. So that's how I play the game. I hope that helps. Um, I'm not gonna stay too long. I need to go very quickly, but TNP. I wanted to check Wally's pick. Wally's pick TNP. What's that? Sacco Energy. Is that what you wanted? Let me, Wally, if you're still here, let me know. We'll look into that very quickly, and let me see. Let me catch in on some comments. Um, okay. Let's see, Sunbreeze. With the war in UK, I think users are dropping. Okay. Talking about still talking about Snapchat, maybe. What do you think about BNB or CRO? Perfect. All right. So we're gonna get some cryptos too. Um, hmm. This company, I don't know what they do. Sacco Energy. Energy. Okay, maybe they are in the energy niche. Wow. This is an interesting stock. Okay, I mean, I don't know anything about this company, right? But first thing I need to see is dividends. Okay, so now we're going to click on dividends. I hope Wally is still here. Point 10, 10 cents per every shares you hold. Not much, but it's something. It's better than nothing, right? We're going to take that. We're never going to say no to money. It had a split 1 to 5 in 2020. Interesting. Having a split is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes this split happens is because they want to sell more of it and they want to allow the shares to go lower and make the slip happens, right? But sometimes the slip happens because the more people can get in, and that's exactly what happened to me with FCell, right? So let's look at the monthly chart. This one is seems interesting. Ooh, this one's been going down like crazy. $200 to $10. But what? Look at this. This is a nice, beautiful candle. Oh, this candle, guys. Ooh, this is a what? 30%? This is a massive 40% candle in 1 month. Okay, okay. This is interesting. So what I would do is I would evaluate the right there. If the price goes higher than $15, then this stock might be in a whole rampage of going up because it's been going down for a long time. I think it's tired. It wants to go back up. So now I don't know what happened last month that or this month. Guys, this is in April. So this is the last 20 days this stock's been blowing up like this. Holy cow. Okay, something's happening. Something's happening with this company. Um what's happening? Charter is extension for two Panoramics tanker, uh, liquefied natural gas carrier expected minimum gross revenue of 100 million. That was 3 months ago, last month. So I guess it's the extension to Panoramics tanker. I don't know. There seems to be some. There have to be more than that. 50% candle. Interesting. So okay, their expenses low. Wait, sorry. What's going on here? It is a 257 million market cap for an energy company. Um, I would have to understand what type of energy it is. Is it oil? Is it renewable? Because that can play a factor. So revenue, total revenue, net income. Man, that means their expenses have to be a high. Look at that. Yeah, still the same problem, right? Expenses higher than income, than revenue. Um, so this year it's going down. Maybe it's an oil company. I'm gonna let's look into this. I'm actually very curious now. Um, what's going on? Total assets still okay. At least they have more assets than liability. Cash flow, they've been doing, it has some potential. What now? The other thing I would do is evaluate other companies in the same niche to see their market cap and compare their market cap to this one's market cap and see if this is undervalued, right? From a market cap perspective. But on a monthly chart, I love seeing this because on a monthly chart, we're starting to see a trend, and this is rising fast. But on a weekly chart, we might already be too late. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We might. The best buy would have been around 50. But look at this. It's predicting a bullish cross on a weekly chart in December, January. So we might be in for a while, guys, with this stock. I'm going to add this on my watch list because this is an interesting stock, to be honest with you. You see, this is the type of things I like to do. Energy. Let's put that here. I like to do research like this very quickly, Am I going to put $10 on it and start listening to earning calls, right? Am I gonna am I gonna look more into the Twitter pre-post, the evaluating the market? But this this to me seems like it's something that is worth looking into. What's that company, man? Where's the website? I want to know more. LTD transportation. Okay, it's a transportation energy company, marine shipping. Okay, so basically, they're probably that's why they were talking about tankers. I get it now. When you watch the headlines, they were saying secures charter extension for two Panamax tanker. So maybe they're buying um, more boats to carry oil, and we know with the war, being in the oil business is not necessarily a bad thing, is it? Right? Um, ooh, I want to hear the website just to get a. But I think it's oil. It's definitely oil. If they're talking about tankers, TMP, Saco. But Wally, are you still here, my man? But it is above the 50. It is above the 50. It's not necessarily a bad thing, Sunbreeze. Remember, we are watching more because the 50, it all depends on the time we're looking at. If we're looking at 50 weeks, it's above the 50, but it's not above the 200 weeks, right? And if we get across, that means if we get across here on the weekly chart, that means for many weeks we're going to have a bull run. That's what it means. And right now, based on the price action, we're heading towards a bull run price. Daily chart, I'm sure we're overvalued already. So on a daily chart, if you wanted to make a better investment, you might want to wait for a pullback. But if it pulls back and it gets around $10, it could be a great entry because on a long term, it's showing you indication that it's going to be able to it's going to at least challenge this line right here. So that means at the very least, it's going to challenge $15. I think the first time it's going to fail, it's going to crash around $13, $14. But then if it stays on that momentum, it's going to blow up that line. And if the price action stays above that line, regardless of what it does on a moving average, this is a breaking almost a 10-year pattern, right? A 10-year downward pattern is about to be broken. This is a much more longer force that is pulling this price down that is about to break. If it breaks that, it symbolizes a huge milestone for the stock. So that's why watching that move right here is more important than watching the moving average on a daily or weekly chart, right? Because this is a much stronger force. There was something that was holding this company back, and it seems somehow now they might be breaking up that pattern. But look at look at the projections, and but this is a custom chart, guys. Custom chart that I have that projects what can happen in the next days, and some massive bullish action happening here. And this is an interesting chart. So as a swing trader, this could be a good play. But if you want to get in today, you would have to wait for a pullback. But I'll look into it, man. Thank you, Wally. Thank you for sharing that with us, and I hope that gives more insights. And yeah, gotta hear more about this company, man. Man, I'm supposed to go, but uh let's see. What's up, Wally?
What's going on, Wealth Engineer?
Hey, what's up? What's up, man? You're looking into this
What's
stock?
going on? Say it again?
You're looking into the TNP stock?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the few things I was looking around.
And what got you interested in this stock?
Well, I was just, looking around and, just various stocks. This is just one of those on the preferred side of energy. And, one day, it was doing pretty good. And then, I thought, let me just keep it. Let's see what happens. And, I keep getting notifications, something like, okay, let me just keep it around for a little bit.
Okay, okay,
Just
okay.
thinking,
Yeah,
just
it's
thinking about this.
it seems that the right now that's the only stock I see right now that gets me a little bit excited. I mean, long term I'm still bad, right? I'm still not holding stocks, but it's just right now. I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, it's looking interesting, man. To say the least, it's looking interesting.
Uh,
But it's definitely what oil stocks. That's what you got.
No, I think this is well, wait, is it an oil stock or is it an energy stock?
Well, energy, right? Energy could be oil,
Oh, I'm
but
pretty sure I didn't look.
I'm trying.
Yeah, like I
I,
said, I didn't look. I didn't get a chance to look too deep into it yet. That's
yeah,
why I said I just keep it around so far, see what it
I'm
does.
trying to figure out if do they have a website? I'm like, where's the company's website, man? Why is it
Oh, the
so hard to
company,
get a
it's on LinkedIn. It doesn't really have a website. So basically,
what?
this company's in Greece.
What? Oh
Yeah, that's
man,
the funny part. Yeah, that's the
this
funny
is a
part. But
problem, man. I mean, this
yeah, I
okay.
know.
That means it's definitely not a long term investment for
Give or
me.
take, yeah. That's
But
why I just
but
keep it. That's why I just keep it around. But
yeah, but it's interesting, man. The chart is looking good, man. A chart the
yeah,
chart is looking interesting. There is some action happening here, but the best time to get in, I would say, is to wait for a confirmation. I mean, if you already got in, fine, but you want to wait to see what happens here in a couple days. By the end of the month,
right.
uh, I would say in a month from now, you're going to have a clear idea what's going on. But if you break $15 and it starts to skyrocket, man, I think we're going to hit this line right here in no time. As soon as it breaks here, it's gonna go straight here. And here is $20, right? And then
Uh-huh.
after we're going here, if we break 20, we're going to go here. And if we break that, we could reach this line right here.
All right,
But that could be the entire like that could be at the end of the year, right? But
right, right, yeah,
but man, I would
yeah,
option this with an option play. Whoo, it could be good,
yeah,
you know. It could be good,
yeah. I see
especially
that.
with the war happening. That could be a it could be a good play. It could be a good play.
Right, right.
I'll have to wrap up. I hope that clarify your question.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Yeah,
Yeah, no worries, man. But Dave, thank you for
yeah,
joining
again,
in.
yeah, no problem.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to give my advice. Give me a second. I wanted to give my thought very quickly on someone asked me about BNB and CRO. Yeah, it was James Tony. Thank you, James Tony, for your question. So BNB, I love BNB. I use BNB all the time to buy other DeFi cryptocurrencies and Binance Smart Chain. Um, to hold the actual coin BNB as an investment, no, I don't do that because there's just too many opportunities on crypto that has the potential to 10x, 100x. Right now, if we're looking at 10x potential, me in cryptocurrencies, I'm a simple guy. I look for 10x, 100x potential, right? That's minimum 10x. If it's not going to be 10x, you know, eh, that's how I look at BNB, right? So is it going to be 10x from this current price right now? It's worth $69 billion. There's $69 billion worth of $69 billion in Binance chain. You know, a lot of money. $400. This is going to get to $4,000 anytime soon. You know what I mean? Not really. Before that, before BNB gets to $4,000, I could get 100x on DeFi. So that's why I don't look at that's the chart right here, right? Very quickly, because someone asked me. That's the chart right here. It's almost following the same chart as Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin blows up, BNB is going to blow up. It could possibly reach 700 again, and that would be good for me. But it's 100% return is not in the crypto world. 100% return, even in the bear market right now, uh, it's meh. You know, it's meh. CRO, love CRO. I'm actually one of the evaluator projects in CRO Chronos chain. Um, but it's been going up. It went up like crazy, very fast. So it needs time to recover. So if you want to start loading up on it, fine. But remember that hey, we just had a cross, a bearish cross. That's we call that the dead cross, and the price action is below the moving averages. So there's probably going to be more sideways slash down action happening. Me, I made 20,000 a couple months ago on this stock. I mean, not stock, cryptocurrencies. So I'm already out of it. I'm waiting for it to reach, got a nice undervalue price so that I can get in, right? And on a weekly chart, it's nowhere close to the undervalue yet. So anywhere around 30 cents, I'll start buying it. If I could get 10, I don't think it's going to reach 10 cents again. It might never reach 30 cents. But right now, if only, uh, at least lower than 40 cents. Uh, no, not lower than 40. I'm talking about here, lower than this line. At least lower than this line, which is 35 cents. That's what I would wait to start loading up on it. But I have my crypto.com cards. So either way, I get CRO by spending more money using my credit card. So that's how I play the game. And then I need to load up anyway at some point because to rebuy back. But I sold here. I'm waiting to a nice line to get in. But it's interesting that it's holding this line. And we're talking about the 40 cents to 50 cents line. So he may not break it. He may not break it. But that's what I think about it. Great fundamental on a crypto side. Great, great thing. CRO is going to be a top 10 cryptocurrency for a long time. May not be right now, but that's where it should be. It should be in the top tens, and it's going and it will do great. This cryptocurrency in the future, great. I believe in it strongly as a long term potential, holding it for 10 years type of investment. So that's what I think about CRO. I'm much believing in CRO in terms of my ability to 10x versus BNB, if that can summarize it, right? So that which is why I needed to be at a lower price to increase my chances of getting a 10x. If it can get to 10 cents, that's an automatic 10x to me because it already tested $1, right? So that's how I think. But it could blast past to $1. I have to go because got to make sure I eat and do some work. But I will hope that helps. I'll make another stream about some cryptocurrencies on a DeFi network that I was hoping to cover tonight. But we're gonna talk about them too because these cryptocurrencies are for what we call degenerates, degens. So So they may record their own stream. Let me know if you want to hear. Let me know in the comment section later if you want me to make a streams about that. But I have some DJ cryptocurrencies that looks interesting. So we're going to do the same work, right? We're going to try to do fundamental work. We're going to try to do research on it and hear your feedbacks and all, and go from there. But all right, so let's go over the comment section very quick. Call Black, you late. Sorry. It's all right. Netflix stock is dipping, claiming people are sharing passwords. I think the streaming's gone is becoming competitive and YouTube winning the stream wars. Stream wars. YouTube is winning a lot of games, but streaming, okay, interesting. I'll have to look into that. I would say I don't know. I would think of Disney and Prime as more suitable competitors for Netflix, but hey, if YouTube can win that war too, nah, but Google stocks, right? Especially they had a split, or they were having a split. So latest news I heard about them. They lost a lot of user indeed. Yes. Let's see. All right. They need new stuff with so much competition. All right. So okay, I guess we covered many stocks and some cryptocurrencies. I guess I'll make another stream for cryptocurrencies because well, we mostly talk about stocks today, but yeah, I'm happy, guys. You guys are sharing with the comment sections your thoughts, and I can give you some good analysis as well. And thank you for your time, guys. I got to keep the stream short today, but again, thank you very much, and we'll do that some other times. And make sure you hit the like button before you go. With that said, we'll talk on the next one.
Hey, yeah. It's all about wealth engineering. Might be something that you're not used to. It's okay, cause I'm here to introduce you to concepts. Time to grow and make big moves. All about crypto, come see. Stocks in business, yes indeed. Got the info that you need. Hosted by my homie JC. Hey, yeah. Wealth engineering. Stacking and stacking it up.